Hello guys, welcome to the channel. It's Rad. And the cycles of the moon of the full moon, had we went through all of them, and now we are back to the full moon in Aries, which is something we're gonna check into tonight and see what Tarot has to say about it. The period of time, or the transit itself, that we are looking into is from tomorrow, 29th of September, uh, 6 a.m., 3 to 6 actually, yeah, 3 minutes to 6 a.m. Up until October 14th, it is what I am reading here. So October 14th, 2 to 5 to 2 p.m. actually. So, and by the way, at the 14th of October, we do have a annual solar eclipse in Libra. So that's going to be the new moon that happens. And with that said, before I move to the general reading, the collective reading, Samuel, thank you for the 5 Australian dollars. Thank you, Samuel. Your reading is going to be performed at the end of the stream when I'm done with all of the star signs. If you can't stay up until that point, you can check it out later into the section of the channel called Live. That's how it's called. There you're going to find a live stream from tonight. If you can't stay, that is, you can navigate to the end of it and check for your reading. Let me put you into the list. Some Walsh. Shift probability, success. Okay, and the other person, that's going to be Viola. Thank you for the $11.12 with the inquiry of love. How do I even call it? Because, hold on a second. What are the next 10 days holding for me in love aspect? Okay, so next 10 days in love. Great. Okay, you guys are gonna have your readings at the end, as well as Liz. Thank you for the 20 US dollars. Thank you, Liz. You will have your reading as well at the end, as it requests career guidance. And Jasmine. Which is going to be the full moon general reading. Thank you both. All right, so with that said, starting up, with the collective reading, you can see the cards at the thumbnail, but I'm going to show them to you anyway. And the first card, that is a 9 of Pentacles. It's Ivala. The $11 person's name. Then the next one, that will be the 6 of Cups. For the next 2 weeks, up until 14th, Jasmine. The Ace of Wands. It is the third one. Followed by the Sun. And the last one, that is going to be justice. Okay, bear in mind this is a collective reading, so it's just an influence. That's oh, that's all right, Pisces Moonbeam. Bulgarian names are kind of rough to be spelled, aside from mine, you know. Mine is rather easy. And there are a lot of sounds that just does not exist in Latin. Just like in Latin, there are a lot of sounds that does not exist in Cyrillic. This is how you do spell it. That is how you do spell it. And fun fact, that's why Cyrillic speaking, like Russians, Bulgarians, Serbians, you know, Macedonians as well, we do have I may not have it, but most of the people who haven't had any interactions with the Western world, with people from the Western world, speak with very distinct, very hard accent, you know, like with the Russian accent. Because it's just, there are some sounds that if you haven't practiced enough with people, you just can't pronounce them, like the R sound. Even I don't pronounce it well. Anyway, back to the reading. It's a cycle of growth for the moon. Pisces Moonbeam even asked me just before I start. I hope it's good. It's very good. It's very good for business in particular. It's tremendous growth for business, especially. In the business field, the influence is going to be tackling enterprises, or can I put it into words? Tasks, let's put it that way. So tackling tasks which are not exactly easy, they're not exactly pleasant, but now, next couple of weeks, those tasks are gonna happen to be way more, not endurable, I can't find exactly the word, they're gonna be way more manageable. And that is to say the least. Even most of us are gonna find some fun dealing with those tasks that by this point were annoying, and that is even an understating the annoying part. Okay, and through all that, clearing out all these things kind of like that we have left piling up by that point, that will pave a path to a leap into a great development into our business and into our job, into our career development, for a lack of better expression. And people who are single as well, for people who are single, for what those cards are showing, we are going to make a very strong physical appearance, kind of like a physical impressions in others that are around you. It's just, you know, when someone look at us, and there will be a pull. Okay, and also with that pull, what's going to be mixed in there as well, it's an interest to explore, and it's important to allow this interest kind of like to settle. So it may feel, and it's going to feel, because of that Six of Cups, it's going to feel a bit wrong, you know, acting on this physical appeal and that interest. It will feel like, you know, you're acting just on an impulse, just on an instinct. But it is important sometimes, at least according to these cards, you know, to allow yourself to explore. And through that exploration, many of us are gonna end up with a great person next to them, hopefully someone that is gonna love them, that is gonna make their life way better than the life is right now. And imagine if you do have a great life right now, what could be to grow even better. So the only thing that it is going to be a bit underwhelming, it is for already existing relationships. Okay, and the only thing that those cards are showing that the influence is going to be is that the tension is likely to abate within the relationship, and it's just people are going to get along with one another way easier than before. Even for what the cards are showing, certain conflicts are going to be settled, and you could call it a rules. Okay, rules within the relationship are going to be established, so there are no quarrels and scuffles anymore in regards to the same subjects that quarrels and scuffles had happening by that point. Anna, thank you for the $20 US. Thank you, Anna. At the end of the stream, you will have your personalized reading. Let me put you into the list. Right. So that is the collective. And now a few notes about the show before I move to the few notes. However, is because Samuel, it's first time donating, I believe. Like I said, Samuel, at the end of the stream, you will have your personalized reading, but I am doing first people with who had donated $20 or above, and then are the rest. So if you can't stay by the end and you're gonna watch it tomorrow, make sure that you do kind of like skip almost the whole thing till the end, and there you're gonna find your reading. Right, so now about the stream, there are going to be 12 readings, guys, one for each star sign. I'm going to start with Aries as usual, ending up in and with a Pisces. And again, bear in mind that these are a star sign readings, so they will affect you based on your star sign, rising, how many planets you do have in one star sign or another. I do encourage you to listen for your sun, moon, and as well rising sign. That way you are going to get a better and bigger picture of how this full moon in Aries is going to affect you. But again, bear in mind, this isn't your personal reading, and you should use these forecasts more as a guidance and a reference point, that is to open your eyes for more options available, rather than to accept them as a concrete answer to whatever questions you do have right now. If you do wish me to read for your personal situation and to address it with the tarot, you can go to my website, which link you will find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you can see full list of my services and as well their pricing. So based on your budget and as well your needs, you can go for whichever one suits you best. And finally, if you do enjoy the show and you do decide to support us either via Super Chat or via PayPal, which link again you will find in the description down below, at the end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading that is guaranteed. So with that said, starting up first, we do have Aries. You can check which star sign or track which star sign I'm reading for by observing the glyph that is appearing on my right hand side. All right, so let me cut and see what we have for Aries. All right, first one, King of Cups. It says Knights, but this is a Alistair Crowley deck Thought Tarot, and Knights are Kings. So it's the King of Cups, followed by the Lovers. Then it is the Knight of Swords. Afterwards, we do have the Knight of Pentacles. And then it's the Moon. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense now. This full moon is going to be the culmination of things for you. Things that many of you had waited. Aries. What I mean is that throughout the next couple of weeks, there are going to be some offers, propositions coming your way, suggestions even. And although you will have the freedom of choice, is not going to feel like that. What I mean is going to be choosing a huge good and extreme evil, and obviously, you know, everybody is going to go for the good one. I mean, it's not going to be much of a choice, and that may kind of like annoy you to a certain extent. But it's at least according to these cards, because we do have the moon card at the end. Oops, sorry. Because we do have the moon card at the end. Okay. That shows that this is how it has to happen. The moon card, it is basically a path we must walk, or in this particular case, you must walk, Aries. So what can you expect? Well, you can expect job offers, you can expect propositions for certain enterprises, offers for relationships, if you will, as well. Any kind of a proposition, any kind of a offer. It's a good thing, though, to tread not carefully, but rather slowly. Well, it is carefully as well, because according to these cards, through these new offerings towards you, you will learn how to kind of like not be steadfast, for a lack of better expression, but instead being meticulous and careful. That's going to be fun, Pisces Moonbeam. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that you are Aries, but you will have to act like Virgo now. I mean, for the next couple of weeks at least, you will have to learn to act like Virgo. And that could be, yeah, exactly. It's just when I saw these cards, it was Aries, and then what they will have to do like Virgo. It's kind of like crazy, but it is what it is, guys. I mean, it's a lesson you will have to learn. If you know it, then you don't have to learn it, right? So yeah, I mean, step by step, it is what I am trying to stay rather than trying to leap forward. All right, so that was for Aries. Now next we do have Taurus. Hello, Yarabi, by the way. Welcome to the stream. Well, I guess you didn't hear the part where you will think you will have a choice, but in reality you won't. Well, okay, so I'm going to put it that way, Pisces Moonbeam. According to these cards, it's either a step forward or a leap backwards. It's your choice. Seven of Pentacles. Four of Swords. Three of Wands. Knight of Cups. Five of Pentacles. This is a very personal undertaking that we do have here for Taurus. It's highly unlikely that it's going to affect directly other people. What I mean is directly like a personal relationship with someone that you have and whatnot. So what we have it is that this moon is going to illuminate how much you can have. How much you can have from that job, how much you can have from this interaction, how much you can have from this hobby, and all these kind of things, Taurus. For example, okay, this full moon is going to illuminate how much money you can get paid for the job you're doing. And thus, that will allow you not to overperform, if that's a word, okay? Because every surplus you do is not going to be rewarded. And instead of throwing a lot of resources for a whole lot of nothing into one or another thing, that full moon is going to allow you to allocate or redirect, if you prefer, your resources into things that can give you, okay? So why this is happening? Well, usually these such cards are showing up when you know someone is giving way too much to a thing or a person that just they don't deserve it. They're never gonna get returned for that. I mean, the person never gonna get returned for that. And or I'm sorry, there is a aspect that wants to give you, but it is just you aren't investing enough so they can do it. Okay. And by the end of this particular transit, a couple of things are going to be true according to these cards, the very least. One, it is that you will feel an immaculate balance in your life, like you ain't gonna feel screwed. That is for certain. Okay. Someone wants to give you just friendship, is gonna get just friendship. Someone wants to give you an infinite blessing, a blessing, or an infinite a goodness, infinite goodness, which is what they're gonna get from you. Again, the thing is that this time you will know, kind of like the wealth, how much wealth you can have from one or another thing. And that is going to lead you to the second thing here. This is a change of a lifestyle. So the next couple of weeks are going to be major and personal for you, because to a certain extent, for some of you are big, for others are small, depending on how much adjustment you gotta do in between the game of giving and taking. The lifestyle is going to change for many of you. And as a result of that, or what is going to produce, it's a much more happy existence. Taco, thank you for the $22 and 22 cents. Thank you, Taco. You ain't late, mate. Thank you. At the end of the stream, you will have your personalized reading. All right, next. Gemini. Well, you can't win me with that. I don't like spicy food. News Devon, thank you for the £5. Thank you. You're also going to have your personalized reading at the end of the stream. Seven of Cups, the High Priestess, the World, Death, the Lovers. All right, these cards are screaming that you are having way too many things at your plate. And can I put it into words? It is just your occupation, and under occupation, I mean what you are focused at right now. It's not entirely a focus that is going to serve the distant future. Or in other words, right now you are, figuratively speaking, that is, you are addressing the details, but not the big picture. And next couple of weeks, for what those cards are concerned, this is going to be fixed. I mean, you are undergo a transition here. Isn't really a transformation. The only thing you got to do, figuratively speaking, is just look up with your eyes rather than lowering them down. Okay. And so the next couple of weeks is going to be a transition from a state, so to speak, having to live day by day or week by week, okay, to a state where a big promise for the future is going to be formed for you, by you. And literally, because of the lovers at the 5th position and the 7 of cups on the 1st, it could go anywhere. What I mean is that this promise could be literally anything. We're talking here about the distant future. So the way I see it for you, Gemini, it is that the huge promising, say, hope is gonna form for you for the next couple of weeks. It's a big new perspective. And in order to start doing something about it, or to capitalize, to capture it, you gotta leave some corpses out, or rather, like, you gotta sever ties with some corpses. What I mean, it is that there are enterprises which they have no purpose anymore according to these cards, and you have to just let go of them. I'll give you an example with a Gemini I know that had the same situation about a year ago, I believe, or a couple of years ago. So that Gemini was doing courses, and the students, they have completed the whole course, but because they liked it so much, they just wanted so-called practice. Okay, but the course is complete, and instead of forming a new course, that Gemini was kind of like furthering the practice, and it was just pointless. Okay, no one benefited from it. She didn't benefit it, they didn't benefit it, so it was pointless. And at the end, she severed the whole thing. But such things, you know, or such a thing will be for you as well. So it could be a friendship that no longer serves any purpose. It could be some kind of a hobby. It could be some kind of a habit. But the thing is that there are things in flux for you which you gotta let go of, so you can leave a room for that, you know, new perspective to start thriving for you. All right, next, Cancer. Spicy food wrecks the stomach. It's very bad for the stomach. When I was first time in England, I went to an Indian restaurant. First time in my life, by the way. I don't think that we do have here in Bulgaria, or if we do, there are like 2 or 3 of them in Sofia, and I don't know about them. But I went there, and it was on the house, I mean, on the company that I was working for back then. And it's just, I asked, is there anything that isn't spicy? And the lady that was serving the food, she kind of like looked at me like, which planet are you falling from, man? I mean, you are in the Indian restaurant, you know. We spicy, it's what we eat, right? So at least the bread wasn't spicy. But they made an exception. They made me some kind of a rice with something and didn't put any spice in it, which, yeah, it was good. It was very delicious. All right, Eight of Pentacles. King of Wands. The Hierophant. Ten of Cups. Three of Swords. To the King of Wands, we do have the Hangman. So, for Cancer, I mean, certain individuals or a certain entity is really gonna step into your nerves with 2 things. first, the requirements or their expectations are going to be outrageously high toward you. That could be, for example, a client of yours with outrageous expectations, something that even you may had not talked about or rather like agreed about. Okay, could be a person from your family or your entire family or a person you're dating, whatever. But the thing is that there will be another entity, either a person or an organization, that will have those high expectations of you. And the second thing, which is going to be a bit more outrageous, is that he's going to push you for it, completely knowing that it's just not the time. Okay. Whatever the enterprise in between you two, whatever the endeavor, it's just like cooking, you know. You want to cook beef, it needs its time. You can't cook beef for 15 minutes like you can cook chicken, right? Beef, in order to become juicy, in order to become, for example, well done juicy beef, it needs a lot of time to be cooked, because for what I know from my father, it needs to be cooked on a low fire, we call it, you know, on not a high temperature. It needs to be cooked on a low temperature. Anyway, yeah, I mean, imagine it that way. The enterprise is that you do need to cook beef, well done, juicy, and they ask you to do it for 15 minutes. Impossible. And this is what's going to be outrageous to such a point that at some point you're just not going to be able to stand it. And probably many of you are just going to burst out, in a sense of like saying what you think right in their faces. Okay. And some of them are going to see reason into it. Others aren't going to see reason into it. But at the end of the day, once you do kind of like make your case, if I may put it that way, you are going to be left alone to do what you do best. And the problems you have with this individual or with that entity is gonna end. And once those issues end, now whatever performing or whatever planning or whatever preparing for now can be transitioned into, now can be initiated. And that is for Cancer. It is just, long story short, this full moon allows you to put someone that it is truly breathing in your neck in their place. All right. Next, it's Leo. Good night, living girl. Page of Wands. Ace of Cups. Queen of Swords. Four of Cups. Eight of Cups. It's okay. So you will be presented with the thing you will really, really want. As we haven't entered yet into the full moon in Aries, it's not even considered what it is. Okay, but it's gonna be something very, very new for you, something you are not thinking about, something, like I said, you haven't considered, you haven't dreamt of, you haven't wished for, and whatnot. But alas, such is to be presented to you. And let me check the cards one more time. And it will be, for what I can see here, very exciting. Okay, very exciting, and yet it will carry on predicaments with it. It will carry on certain issues, certain problems that you will have to deal with them on your own if you do wish to captivate this opening, because it could be offered to you not by a person but by the universe through circumstances. So it's not going to be a proposition necessarily, okay? But definitely something new is coming your way. And what this new is going to do, it will give you a much better perspective for the future, or is going to make your future much brighter than whatever present you do have currently. However, is going to require a very tenacious impulse from you. Tenacious for some of you, if you will, ruthless even, because only when you kind of like adopt the thinking that the winner takes it all, okay, only then you will be able to push it through. Because otherwise, if you take under consideration, if you are taking under consideration rules that aren't kind of like obliging on or abiding on, you think more for your competition than for your progress, no, things aren't gonna work. Here it's all about, think of it as a war, right? In war, there are no rules. So yeah, and the reason all that it's happening, two reasons actually. One, the bigger one, it is because in those couple of weeks, should you chase this brand new enterprise for yourself, you will actually realize how strong you are and how much you can accomplish in this life. And the second reason, it is because you do need newness. Otherwise, because right now you may not realize it, but right now, according to these cards, you are moving in a magic circle. So you're kind of like chasing your tail, and you do need something new to push you out of that circle. All right, next, Virgo. Maybe so. Taco, maybe so. Page of Cups. The Lovers. Page of Swords. The High Priestess. King of Pentacles. To the King of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. It's great. So basically the King of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles as a catalyst, it speaks that whatever resources are required, those resources are to be provided. Why would you need resources? Well, according to these cards here, you will kind of come up with something kind of brilliant. There is a change coming, guys, and no one else but you, Virgo, are gonna sniff it out, okay? No one else but you are going to predict it. And in order to face the change with a, I put it into words, with success, you are gonna need some preparations, you're gonna need some new positions, some resources. And whatever resources are needed, they are such to be provided. For example, okay, say you do have a business and you will sniff a change of the market that will happen, say, or it is starting to happen, okay, or it is about to happen in about a couple of months, and you will need the resources to restructure your business. So whenever the change hit, like, I don't want to remind you guys the crisis that happened 2 decades ago, or rather like 15 years ago, right? It was terrible, but it could be a positive change nonetheless. You will need resources, say, to restructure your business, and thus resources are to be provided. Very seldom it is the alignment of the cards in such a way those resources are going to be charity, okay? They are not to be expected back. I mean, if you do decide to repay back, that is entirely on your volition. Otherwise, you can definitely not to do so. Bad thing, this is gonna throw you off balance. What I mean is that probably is going to interfere with plans you have right now. Say plans for your business. If we are following those examples, you have plans to expand, but you see that, you know, the market is going to change, and this expansion is going to be thrown out of the window if not the business is restructured. The reason for all that is so you can sustain, so you can ensure longevity of something, so the things stay as they are, so your business prevails, so your love prevails, so your work prevail, and you name it. And truly what you're going to come up with is going to be brilliant. It's truly going to be brilliant. The way that you will decide to kind of like face the future, you will awe a lot of people. All right, next, Libra. King of Wands. Queen of Wands. It's a competition, a huge one. Seven of Swords. There is no doubt in it now. Death. The Sun. To the Queen of Wands, we have Seven of Pentacles. It is a competition. So what happens here is that next couple of weeks, you're either going to have a chance to manifest your ambition, or it is just you will see that your actions are going to be very powerful and very successful and proficient. The thing is that person close to you, and it is close because we do have not only the Seven of Swords into a third position, but also the Death card into the fourth position here, into this spread. It's a close person that you work together by now, but now they are going to happen to be your opposition. Why? Because they are going to think that they know better. However, with that Seven of Pentacles being two next to them, it kind of speaks that they are out of their league in that particular regard. Not towards you, you may be neck to neck in terms of performance, okay? They are out of their league, understanding the issue here, understanding what needs to be done, which is very seldom, by the way, for the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands usually have not just only the will, but also the sense to prevail. However, the King of Wands, it kind of knows what can be materialized. So let's put it that way. And this could be very much an end of a partnership because of it. So from that regard, you may want to brace yourself here, Libra, okay? Because it's just what we call it here, two sharp stones. They cannot produce a flower, all right? They can't produce flower. And one needs to be sharp, the other one needs to be dull in order the grain to become flour. Two sharp stones, they can't. And the other thing it is that it's imperative, if you do want to end up on top, this is the 2 weeks where you think about yourself and not about others. It's all about your ambition, it's all about your agenda, not anyone else's. Then you will prevail, and basically your ambition will manifest. And something more that it is not that heavy in influence, it is that next couple of weeks, aside from that, you will have a lot of chance to indulge yourself with partying, you know. It's just things that are gonna make you experiencing the goodness in life. All right. Next, Scorpio. Two of Pentacles. Queen of Queen is the Empress. It's the Queen of Queens. Okay, the Empress. Three of Wands. The Eight of Pentacles. Did it change already for the Western Hemisphere? Is it almost 9 where you are, or is it almost 10? Page of Swords. To the Page of Swords, we do have Queen of Cups. All right. So let's get the bad news out of the way. And the bad news, according to these cards, is that the circumstances are not going to improve for us, Scorpio, in the next couple of weeks. That is the bad news. The good news it is that as the circumstances are aligned, they are enough. It may not look like that way, but they are enough. They are enough to build up businesses. They are enough to sustain work. They are enough to meet ends. They are enough to manifest love. Now, couple of ways how this can happen. It could happen on our own, but in order that to be true, in order that to take place, we Scorpio need to be opportunistic, which isn't a characteristic of a Scorpio, say, unless Pisces Moonbeam could confirm here. A person who is Scorpio rising or Scorpio sun has a lot of planets in Aries, or it says Scorpio sun but Aries rising. Okay, me who is Scorpio sun and Aquarius rising, I am not opportunistic at all. Okay, so I will go for the second option, and second option is through a friend. So we do have a friend who kind of like we do not feel that close, but nonetheless, according to these cards, they happen to be true friends. Under true friends, I mean they are discreet. I mean they can empathize with us, they can commiserate for us, and also they can I put it into words, support us more often than not, moral support. But this is all we need right now, because through a conversation with them, actually the path how to make use of. It's definitely make use of the circumstances as they are, is going to shine bright. And one day we are gonna kind of like think about our situation, very misfortunate, say, not ideal. And after this conversation, we are gonna see our situation as a very well established pattern and foundation. And from here, we just only have to challenge ourselves to desire and to go for more. And more is what we are going to have. Yeah, with that Two of Pentacles being into the first position, this shows that whatever, and that Empress into the second, these two are right together in that particular interpretation. It kind of means that whatever plans are to be made, there is going to be always something wrong about it. Always some kind of a vital detail of the plan is not going to happen true, and the whole plan collapses. But because it doesn't happen true, it doesn't mean that it cannot be twisted. What I mean is that although it won't happen true, something is going to happen, and we need to be an opportunistic, so to align that plan we have according to that something else. Okay, I can't do that, so I'm gonna fall for the second option, which is through a friend. All right, next, Sagittarius. The Tower, Six of Swords, Ten of Cups, Ten of Cups, Three of Cups, Knight of Swords, to the Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords. That will regard a person we are very attached to. And something unpleasant is going to happen in their lives that is going to affect Sagittarius. For example, you have a sister or a brother, whatever the case, and you love very, very much. I'm saying that because I know people that are estranged from their siblings. Anyway, it could be as well a friend that you do love dearly. You accept that friend as a brother and whatever the case. And suddenly their boyfriend or a girlfriend end up cheating on them. They end up devastating, and that devastates you as well. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Sagittarius are going to be affected by a misfortune in a close person to them. That is going to be how the full moon is going to influence them. And the lesson that you need to learn from all that, it is that just because, you can't do anything about it, and you cannot do anything about it except offering a place of solace to that individual, that doesn't mean that you are not useless, okay? Because the moral support is going to be the name of the game for us. So yeah, it's because I do have a stellium there, so and my moon is there. So it's going to affect me more than anyone else. With the moon in Sagittarius, is going to affect the most of most is going to affect people with the moon in with their moon in Sagittarius. Anyway, we have to let that person handle it themselves, and they will handle it very quickly. Okay. Only thing we need to do is just offer a place of solace, moral support. That's all. Yeah, it's going to be rough for Sagittarius from that regard, at least nothing personal. I mean, not impersonal in their personal life. All right, Capricorn. Seven of Pentacles, Death, the World, Ten of Cups, Four of Cups. All right, guys. That Death card and the World into the second and the third position that they stand there. They basically, both of them mean that it isn't over, but it is not going to be the same again. Okay. For example, something happened recently in your job ain't going to be over, but it's not going to be the same again. Okay. Whether the team is going to change, the salary is going to change, your contract is going to change, something is going to change, something big is going to change. It just is not going to be the same by a large margin. And within this full moon in Aries, actually, you will have to learn to accept it, and you will have to learn to adjust appropriately. Okay? Because anything less or even more is going to be unappreciated. Now, imagine that, say, you are having an intimate relationship with someone, and this change into just friendship. That person tells you, no, I mean, I just want us to be friends. Okay, so the relationship with them, it isn't over, but it is not going to be the same again. And if you try to act like they're your girlfriend or a boyfriend, that's going to piss them off, because they just want to be friends with you. So you gotta act friendly with them, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, and that is just an example. It could be vice versa, you know. It could be from a friends going for a something more. Anyway, yeah, I mean, throughout the next couple of weeks, you will have to learn to handle it and to love it. Okay, and once you do, you will see that it isn't that bad. In fact, many of you are going to be grateful that this is exactly what happened. It's just at the start, you will have that sour taste. That's what you wanted to kind of like give. It's not appreciated or embraced. All right, next, Aquarius. The Tower. Eight of Swords. Nine of Pentacles. Six of Wands. Two of Cups. This is like I have to approach it with an example, don't I? These cards for Aquarius does refer to an aspect in their life that they want to change. Okay, like say you have a relationship, you wish to be different or a bit different, not a much, but a bit different. Or you have a business that you wish to be different, or you do have a family relationship that you wish to be different, or maybe you do have a home that you wish to be different. And you may find yourself pushing to make it different. What happens when a person pushes too much? What happens? Well, at the end, they may end up soiling themselves from too much of a pushes. So, this full moon in Aries for you, Aquarius, it's the pivotal point where you have to, you will be made to, not have to, but you are going to be made to abandon that idea of pushing for differences and instead kind of like embracing what we actually have to this point. Once we do, we are to see that there is an amazing rewards that are out there for us. Okay, peak of experiences with the person that we don't have to change, with the relationship we don't have to change, with the job we don't have to change. Not just only rewards, but as well gifts, as well recognition, and above everything else, peace. So here I could just only say parable, right? That not always one can get what one wants, but always one has to make do with what one has. And that is one of those times. We will just have to make do with what we have. And it's not small thing, right? It's not something underwhelming. It is just, it may not be perfect at the start, but nonetheless, like I said, is going to produce, if not desired, at least amazing results for us. So in love, we can expect peak of experiences with the person that we are dating. Although they may not be exactly as we wish them to be, nonetheless, they are going to be very exciting. Monetary gains in job and in career, recognition in family and teamwork, and so on and so forth. And peace. Under peace, I mean that peripheral people, they're not going to mess around with our business. And last but not least, we do have Pisces. Three of Swords, Seven of Cups, Seven of Wands, King of Cups, Page of Cups, the Fool. Most likely involves romance that we have this Page of Cups and the Fool into the fifth position. That speaks about an individual who just doesn't know how to express their emotions, or rather like they don't know how to express what they're emotionally attached to, and they are emotionally attached to most likely to us, or it could be to some kind of our to an enterprise we have, okay, but most likely to us. And it is just how it comes out from them. It's gonna be, and it's gonna look like, not just only look like, but as well feel silly, immature even, okay. And the next couple of weeks, it's just what is gonna come to our mind is that things cannot go that way any further. So most likely we are going to provoke, or rather like not we, but you, Pisces, are going to provoke. You will going to want to clear the situation out, and either things work out or things doesn't. And it all going is going to come to what can you offer, okay? What can you offer, and how do you do it as well? Whatever offer you present is going to be faced by that Page of Cups, and based on it, the decision is going to be pretty much rendered. The initial step with that Three of Swords being into the first position, the initial step of provocation, it will be a bit difficult for you. So what the cards are suggesting here is to approach it with, how can I put it into words? With a surreptitious act, okay? Like throwing on some kind of a rumor around in order to flush that individual out. That is going to be the best way to approach the whole situation. On a personal level for Pisces, the more harder people try to bring you down, the more harder you will stiffen and consolidate at your position. So actually your competition itself is going to do you a favor in the next couple of weeks. All right, so that was for the 12 star signs. Now super chat is going to take place. Anyone who supported and decides to support the stream through super chat or PayPal, you're gonna have a reading right now, guys. And first in the list, that is gonna be Liz. So Liz wants career guidance. All right, Liz, those are your cards. Seven of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, the Lovers, and Knights of Pentacles. Well, according to these cards, you are stepping on someone's toe, and I can't say that, you have a rival or an enemy right now, but you are getting there. And because of all that, currently as a career guidance, it's just not it's not okay to make any major moves in term of your career, like initiating a big project, big plans, and so on and so forth. Because according to these cards, Liz, um, it's just not all the circumstances, not all the sides are established, and therefore there is a huge chance for miscalculation of risk, of approach, of a strategy, to say the least. So what's going to be the best course of action right now is just to dribble the ball until the whole environment around you becomes harmonious. How you are going to recognize harmonious environment? When you don't have a wrong choice. Okay, so whatever you are to do in that sits as a choice in front of you, it's always going to make do. Then you will have a harmonious environment. Then you can do something about your work. And by the end of January, by that point, you will have a pretty good idea how to proceed forward with your career. But for now, lay low. That's that's what the cards are advising you currently. All right, next, Jasmine. All right, Jasmine, you're going to be offered a help about something or an intervention. And the person who is going to do that, it's a very smart person. Basically, whatever predicament you are into or you are going to be into, they are going to know how to get you out of it or how to fix it. So we can say that that's a fixer. A better thing that we could have for a fixer, it's King of Swords with the Queen of Wands as a catalyst. Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords as a catalyst. It's still a very good fixer, but this one does it because believes in it, while the other one, it's a better fixer. They definitely have no chance whatsoever to fail, but they are doing it out of necessity or out of personal interest, whether because you are paying them or whether because that way there is gonna be something out of it for them and whatnot. Okay, so this is someone that you can fully trust, and they will appear in front of you themselves. Okay, so this is gonna be an offer that comes from them without you even suggesting for it, because you may end up having the same agenda and the same goal, and you should embrace that. Okay, you should definitely consider it as a recognition that what you are doing or what you're trying to fix, what you're trying to get a breakthrough into, it's worth it, because that's, you know, the assessment of this person, and their assessment is is on point. Okay, it's dead on. On a personal level, you will end up being very attractive next couple of weeks. So show yourself into the world, and in no time you will attract attention. All right, next, Anna. You're welcome, Jasmine. All right, Anna, those are your cards. Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Swords. Very likely that this is going to be a deliberation within this full moon. It's a deliberation with a very close person or an entity to you about a further progress, most likely business related. Maybe you are going to consider taking a partner in your business. Maybe you are going to consider involving yourself into a family business if your family has a business. That is the more likely thing, okay? If your family has a business, you may end up having invitation to get into the family business, okay? But it's definitely business related, and literally this deliberation is going to open up a door how you can further your goal in terms of a being successful woman, being successful businesswoman, okay? And the only issue that I can see within those cards, it is that you may think that you aren't ready yet. And you aren't quite ready, okay? But you are nearly there. At the very least, you are at the stage where you have to start talking about it and kind of like not predicting, but more like thinking over what kind of a path you are to take from there on forward. So don't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks you end up being very, very busy thinking about, deliberating about, and even executing about a very successful business maneuvers, which are gonna only nest and how can I put into words, settle a sense of content and even glee in you. So it seems that you will make how can I put it into words, a solid growth in terms of business. All right, Taco. You're welcome, Anna. Does your family has a business? All right, Taco, those are your cards. This full moon is going to bring you a conclusion, mate. An end of a phase, not an entire ending, okay, but an end of a phase, a certain conclusion, which I cannot say that you are going to be very happy of, okay? Because for what those cards are showing, it will, at least from your behalf, it will feel way too premeditated, or rather like not premeditated. Hold on a second. That was not the word that I was searching for. Kind of like happening before its time. Okay, so that it is happening before its time. It needed a little bit more time to develop this particular phase that it is ending. And also is gonna feel that it kind of like someone or something is pushing a bit harder than it needs to be. But in the same time, you will know, and that is a good thing, by the way, so you do not throw your efforts out on the wind or throwing them throughout the window. You are going to be very, very aware that at this current stage, you just can't do very much. Okay, you can't influence the situation in any way. However, another thing that you will know it is that you can do it in the future. So despite that the details that are going to be finalized within the next couple of weeks are not going to be exactly, well, they may be favorable, but they're not going to be exactly fulfilling for you, okay? You will know that that's just temporary, not a permanent thing, and in the future you will get to shape them. I mean, the future of this enterprise will be much better and brighter than it is right now. But the only thing you got to do currently, because you can't do anything else rather than kind of like ruin your position into it, it is just wait and accept it for what it is currently. And that your time is gonna come, and it will come, but not in the next couple of weeks. There is another person involved into all this, and I do believe that it is who will actually going to find a way how you can make a turnaround, okay? How you can make a turnover and get the upper hand further into the future. But like I said, next couple of weeks is not the time where you should act prematurely. So this is what you're going to feel, that it happens prematurely. Well, maybe you are going to get that partner as a family. I don't know. I mean, you're going to grow to have a relationship like a family. You're welcome, Taco. All right, next, Ivaila. What does next 10 days hold for me in love? Let's check it out, Iba. Those three cards, it doesn't look very well. These two, okay, they speak about a disappointment of incompatibility or of inconvenience. It's just whether the circumstances are not going to be very pleasant for your love life, or you're just gonna see that if you are dating someone, right, the person that you are dating kind of like, it's a bit on a different, I don't want to say level, in a sense of level like you are lower than them. It is just on a different phase, and even if it is a slightly different phase, it's still gonna be off. And all this kind of like collectively together, it will make you think that although you may be getting along, you aren't quite ready yet to jump into something more serious. However, that isn't something that is gonna carry on forever. Okay, so think of it that way. It is that you're gonna sniff that it is a bit prematurely to jump into a relationship. Currently, it's gonna be better to say kind of like get to know each other for a week or two more before you decide to make a commitment, if that's the case. Okay, if you don't have anyone that you are dating, these cards are speaking that's all that you will face in the next couple of days, unless people that you already know, is going to be mediocre for you. So no ideal individuals by a large margin. And the worst of all that is these two. Okay, Nine of Wands. It does describes the bridge in between the sun and the moon. It's in the other deck. Hold on a second. This is described better in Aleister Crowley when it comes to interpreting it for a relationship. Let me show it to you. There it is. The bridge in between the sun on top and the moon on the bottom. And that signifies the bond in between the masculine and the feminine beginning. Okay. And because it is a passive enemy to the Eight of Cups, it shows that any attempt a relationship to be forged right now, it will be short-living, disappointing, and fragile. It's not like just not gonna happen. It's just it doesn't have much of a I put it into words, chances. It always can prevail against the odds, but why do you wanna do that to yourself? It's the question. That is like a guidance. Okay, you both, if you do have a person, you both aren't ready to end up in something very serious. Or if you don't have one, it's just no one around you is ready to end up in something serious. So that is what awaits you in terms of love for the next 10 days. All right, next, Samuel Walsh. What is the probability for a relationship success? Those are the two cards, Samuel. It's a big one. Okay, it's a big one. You just have to be able to look past certain things, dwelling and digging into, say, statements, prospects, situations that's, gotta put it into words, have no standing. It's not gonna get you anywhere. Okay, or in other words, it's best that you do play dumb if you want the probability to actually manifest. If you start digging, kind of like bruising and inquiring for the same thing that doesn't make sense to you, then it's not like it's not gonna work out, or it cannot work out. It can work out, but it's going to be a slog, at least according to my cards. And last but not least, News Devon. What can I expect was the question, I believe. Let me check it out. What's coming my way? Those two cards. What's coming your way is a drive smothering. Basically, what happens, or what these cards are describing for the next couple of weeks, it is that there is going to be a point where you end up being very enthusiastic, that you will feel like, things are working out very well. You are just on a verge of a breakthrough or a good accomplishment, good achievement. And the one that sits on top of you, say your boss or your supervisor or whomever the whole thing depends on for approval or for conclusion, for consolidating, is gonna slap you on the wrist and tell you, you do not touch here, at least not now. So, yeah, it's an element of dignity. So while it's going to be a pleasant experience that you will see that finally, something is working out, News Devon, it will be, I don't want to say blocked, but more like withheld for now from the management. It could happen, for example, say you are dating someone and you're seeing that things are working out in between you two, things are going on very well, and you are making that decisive move to make a commitment, and that person tells you not now, okay, not now or currently. So yeah, I mean, you may find yourself being having your flame extinguished, but this is gonna be just temporary, okay? The leap into your development is yet to come. Just you are heading ahead time right now, or you are way ahead of the time needed, which is a good thing. The bad thing is that you just have to sit around and wait a bit. All right, so that's gonna do it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we're gonna see each other around. Until then, bye.